Welcome, everybody. We are live on thepowervoices.com. It's the Comedy Hour Live. I'm Annamarie, your host, and this is my co-host, Rocky the Comic, as you all know.
Rocky Crusoe in the house.
Rocky Crusoe. That's right. That nice French last name that you have.
Yep.
Are you, what do they call that, bougie?
Not at all.
Not at all?
And I appreciate you not misusing the phrase.
What is it? Again.
Because if you think I'm bougie, then you don't really you don't have a full grasp of it.
I don't. I don't at all. And I asked for guidance on those things. What would I know? Little Italian girl from Boston. You know, the AOE. How was your week?
My week's been really good, you know. Just looking forward to...
No, man, I don't see you.
I know, right?
I know you've been doing a lot of projects.
So it's kind of like we say, if you don't hear, like my family says, like if you don't hear from me, I'm good. Everything's good.
Well, I know because you do production and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm probably taking over the open mic show starting next week.
Where?
Yeah. Two Roads Theater. I'm bringing it back. Yeah.
So you've been out behind my back doing this shit.
I know. Just conversations just started like a day ago.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This is the exclusive.
I'm psyched, people, because if that's the truth.
But it'll be Wednesday now instead of Thursday.
That's fine. We all be crying that we lost that. Two Roads Theater was everything.
Yeah. Cleo King open mic. So
we're
bringing it back.
So Cleo
new
involved?
Branding. She helped facilitate, but she won't be. She just helped set me up.
Oh man, that's gonna be really cool open mic night. Well, listen, I am doing the I'm hosting at the Hard Rock Cafe. A shout out to Sandy Rizzo, the inductees into the Rock Gods with a Z Hall of Fame. 21 inductees. I'll be up there hosting it at the Hard Rock the 26th of October. Like I said, tickets are on sale. You guys, please come in and check it out because it ain't just me. There's a bunch of other people that are going to be playing in on this. It's supposed to be a really good crowd. They're going to have the red carpet out front.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was really sidetracked by the fact that she also teaches at the Jack Black School of Rock. So I thought she just wanted me to do a thing with the kids in the auditorium. Hey, baby, I'm so alive because as I posted, that was unbelievable when she handed me the itinerary. I mean, because you people out in L.A., like I said, you're spoiled. You're used to all this stuff. For everybody back home, it looked, kid did good. That's all.
You are doing good. Absolutely.
So speaking of kids did good, I'd like to bring out our next guest.
Well, we got a clip before we even...
Oh,
yeah,
can
let's
we cut
introduce
to
him
that?
to the clip. Yeah.
You guys, I want you to take a look at what this young man does and take a look at Jose Raymond. And we got a little clip
now,
for
we
you.
apologize to our Facebook followers. You're not going to see it.
They're not? Okay.
No.
But
our
Oh, okay.
Power of
Check it out on the
Voices.
Power of Voices. If you guys want to catch that, the Power of Voices is carrying that clip.
So go ahead and give his name.
Jose Raymond, which I did say, who is phenomenally funny. And second time back to my show.
I go to pick her up at her house, right? Palos Verdes. Amazing place. Amazing. I pull up and she gets in my car. And I'm like, wow. These are some amazing projects right here. And she tells me they're not projects, they're condominiums. I know projects when I see projects. People living on top of people, those are projects. You're gonna tell me I've been living in condominiums my whole life? Amazing woman. Amazing. One of the things I learned from her was dog breeds. Like, she knew the race of a dog. Like, she could look at a dog and be like, that dog's from Colorado. To me, they're just dogs. You ask me, what kind of dog is that? It's a black dog. I'm jogging with her, right? Her idea, 5 o'clock in the morning, we're jogging. And I tell her, baby, watch out, up ahead, there's a police dog. She said, that's not a police dog, that's a German Shepherd. I said, to me, that's a police dog. I know, I'm from the projects. My dad, watch out, there's a police dog here. Swallow it, swallow it. Very amazing, amazing person. I'll tell you about my first and last date with her because we kept butting heads. I go pick her up, right? So we go to dinner, and we're enjoying our Cesar salad, right? And I didn't know this. Good girls, when you guys want to like party, you guys party. So I thought, being from the hood, you know what? I'm gonna outdrink her. And she's ordering Chardonnays. I never had Chardonnay. I thought it was like cleared Kool-Aid. She said, "You want another Chardonnay?" I said, "I can't. I'm gonna throw up. I'm feeling nostalgic." Thank you guys. That's my time. Appreciate it.
Out. Jose, come on out. Let's sit you
welcome
in the
to
chair.
The show. Welcome.
Welcome,
What's
dude.
good? What's good?
Good to see you, yo.
Funny
Good
stuff.
welcome back again.
Thank you, man.
No shit.
Well, worst clips ever.
No, man.
No.
That
That's
actually
good
is pretty funny. How much of that's true? I want to know right now.
A lot out of it.
A lot
All
of
my
it's
comedy is
true.
based on my life. So
Yeah, which you're originally
You really
from...
had to swallow the drugs?
for something like that. My dad was a crackhead.
Shit.
So I mean, it's deeper. It's something that I've taken that was hard at one point, but made it to something funny. So yeah, everything is true, man. Everything I speak of, I don't tend to make up my stories.
No, you don't. You grew up in.
I grew up in Watts.
Yeah,
Grew
and
up in the
you
Nicholson Garden Projects. That's what the joke was about. So I know projects really well when you tell me they're condominiums. Nah,
yeah, but
I know projects.
So demographically, Watts being what it is, were you a pretty much blend in with everybody, or
No,
did
I
you
used to get
kinda...
beat up a lot. You guys know where Watts is. Where you from, man?
Florida, man.
Florida,
Tampa,
so
yeah.
LA, sir, my man. You guys
He's been
know
all
Watts. Everybody out there listening know Nicholson Garden Projects is like 95% black. And when I grew up there in the 90s, I used to get beat up for being Mexican living in a black hood. And then when I left the black hood to go, to Latino neighborhoods, when I used to go hang out, I used to get beat up for living in a black hood. So
shit.
I was like, I can't. Yeah, I was like, you beating me up everywhere.
So that's where you learned to get funny real quick, right?
Yeah, the
was
words
that your
were
saving grace?
that was my self-defense. Couldn't fight. I used to get beat up a lot, so
I would
fight.
think, it's like once you learn, shit, if they think I'm funny.
Yeah, you could change the whole day.
Yeah.
Change the whole day.
I can relate a little bit to that. Being I was the girl that always got bullied. So once I became funny, and it became acceptable that if you're funny shit, people like having you around.
Right.
Everybody likes comic relief. But when you think about that, jesters back in the day, that was it. You had to be funny or they kill you.
Yeah.
So it was almost like the
Yeah,
same
you're
thing,
right.
isn't
Right,
it?
the king stuff, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean that pretty much sounds as much as today as it was then. Be funny, or we gonna kill you.
That.
Yeah, and I know that you got telephone.
We got our
There we go,
first
we got the
caller.
first caller.
They're excited to talk to you, brother.
Yeah,
Let's
man,
do it.
that was quick. Hey, what's up? Who's calling in? Welcome.
Hey, it's your girl, happily divorced Carly Carr, comedian.
Oh,
what's
what
up?
up?
Carly Carr.
Hey, I called to say what's up to my boy, Jose Raymond.
Hey, what up,
Love.
Carly? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's
Send
up?
you a
I'm
big
good,
hug. Thank you for
fam.
calling.
Oh, anytime I just see you doing your thing, I have to always give you mad love. You're my homie all day, forever. Had to
Yes,
give
ma'am. Thank you
mad
very
love.
much.
Where
Thank
were you when he was getting his ass kicked, though?
Oh, you getting your ass kicked on me? What happened? Was somebody whooping your ass?
Because Carly, nobody messed with you. You would have had his back.
I mean, you give a
I
whole
mean,
nother meaning to
all
growing
day.
pains.
Yeah.
I
Goddamn,
would put
bro.
these extensions up in the bun and go to work on somebody. You should have let me know. You should have texted me. I didn't know.
I mean,
They
you didn't
caught
think
you
to try to get
slipping.
a little pair of brass knuckles or something for
No,
yourself?
I didn't
man.
even know.
You a kid? You don't know
Damn.
nothing.
Shit, I know to make friends real quick. Shit, I need a buddy, a homeboy, or something.
Yeah, you got to get a
Should have
group
got
of
should have got you a
one
police
gang.
dog.
Forget it.
We got some things, you can't confess them,
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
You did
We'll,
what you
leave,
had
we'll
to do.
leave that one at that. Yeah, see, he finna get me caught up. I shouldn't even call down.
Yeah, see? Hang up.
Nah, we appreciate the love.
Yeah, Carly, really do.
That's been our
Right.
fastest hotline
Hey, got the
call
record. Make that a
ever.
record.
That's
Put
the
that on the
record.
wall.
We got the record right now.
And that's from
Y'all
another
ain't no
funny
good.
woman, happily divorced Carly Carr.
That part. That
Hey, wait
part.
a
Put that on
minute.
the wall.
So wait, Carly, you're doing the happily divorced thing? Because I will be in yeah, that's coming up. So I like the way you think.
Okay.
Yeah. do you work that into your act?
Well, I am the happily divorced comedian.
That's her. That's
That's
her
her
tag.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's who I am,
So
baby.
for
Yep,
those
all
of you
day.
who don't know that, because that there's got to be a lot of funny in that. Is
That's an
Kali's also a
understatement.
comedian. She's been on my show. You guys, you got to check Kali out. And Kali, you're on all kinds of. You're on Instagram. You're on Facebook.
Yeah, Rebirth the Carly Car, and I'm under Carly Car on Facebook, and you can catch me at the Mission Tobacco Lounge on the 29th, a Halloween show in Riverside.
Shout it out. Thank you, Kali.
Oh, anytime. Matt, I just want to wish mad love to you guys. God bless. I'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you.
All right, Kali.
All right.
Peace.
Okay.
So, that being said, you guys are kind of like a that support that you get for each other. You do form kind of like bonds in that because you're all in the.
It comes and goes, right?
Yeah,
Right?
it does.
You know.
Is it like that love-hate thing?
Nah, it
No?
depends. It depends on the people.
Yeah, it comes and goes. It grows and then it diminishes. But Carly's one of my favorite women to work with.
Yeah, man, I follow her. I had her on the show with Princess and Scrunjo.
Yeah, Squancho, yeah.
They came on. It was like
Yeah.
mayhem. Everybody all mic'd up, you know. And you've been. I know you've been traveling a lot to give you your start. I mean, you started out. You were kind of taken under the
Under some wings. for a little
the
bit.
armpit of love from Willie Barcena.
Somebody Barcelona, yeah, a little bit. So,
Yeah,
11 months on the road. 11 comedy months. It was good. We went all over.
When'd you get
so-
started?
I started comedy. First time on stage was 2011 in Hawaii. But it was like, yeah, that's another thing.
Long
It's
way
crazy.
from the ghetto of Watts. Of the,
Yeah,
of
long
the,
way.
Projects.
And I met Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy, out there. I went to one of his shows and I asked him for advice. And his advice was, you got to move.
I mean, was
Yeah.
the show what took you there, or you just happened to be there?
Yeah, he was performing in Maui at the Maui Art Cultural Center. And I went to go just see him and try to meet him and get some advice from somebody that's successful already. Right?
Yeah.
Get the blueprint. And his advice was just move. So I moved to LA 2014. I've been doing comedy every day for 3 years now. And it's been going fast. But
yeah,
it's good.
you're pretty much one of the good stories because it just took off when you started doing it.
Yeah, little by little, I got to meet the right people.
Yeah, and like, did your then when you come home, you tell your wife, or were you already a comedian when you met your wife?
Yeah, I was a comedian. I got divorced. I was married
Uh-huh.
when I started doing comedy, and my comedy led me to get divorced the first time. So it might
And
be
they
a
say,
second
what's
time.
so funny about that? Yeah, well, okay. So being on the road is a grind.
Yeah,
on
that's
everybody,
my
right?
number one love. My work, my comedy. Get to tell my story on stage.
Which is the heart of where every good comedian should go, right?
Yeah, that's what I learned a lot about Willie, to learn how to tell the truth. You know.
Right. I know he's pretty hard on critiquing. He wasn't there to blow sunshine up your ass, right? You said sometimes when you get off stage, what was that like? And he kind of tear into you, right?
Yeah, it'd be terrible. So 11 months, that's all it took.
And he'd beat you off. He'd beat you up worse than the audience would.
Yeah.
Even when you thought you did good, he'd be like, "Nah."
No, he would find the wrong in it, or the bad in it, or the adjustable.
Yeah.
Right? The adjustustable. He
Well,
would
it's
see.
not for the weak. I mean, some people might have not been
Well,
able
most
to take that.
comics don't get that kind of guidance,
Right.
Yeah, the attention.
tough love
yeah.
or whatever. Because for people who love comedy like we do, like you sit through a lot of bad sets.
Yeah.
Because it's like people aren't getting. Because in LA, especially, it's like most of the time you got to pay for that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be some workshops or some schools or whatever, but most comics learn from doing.
Yeah.
Which seems like your gift. Like you said, you hit it every day. It was just like working at it constantly.
Yeah.
But most, I don't know.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that is in this world, I mean, you have to admit a lot of egos, a lot of competition, and everybody's worried about themselves. So Willie to actually give back. I mean, he does that a lot. I mean,
Yeah,
I know,
he's helped
I know
a lot
from,
of comedians.
yeah,
So
and his
in
heart
some way or
is in
another.
there. Where
Because it's good to get it from a working comic. Because I don't
Yep.
think the people who teach the classes, I don't know how.
Yeah, so watch out. Anybody
No, I'm funny,
anybody trying to
actually,
take classes, watch, do your research. Do your
Right.
research.
Well,
watch them do a set first before they teach you
right,
anything.
because out in LA, that's like the next, like hand in hand. Like people go, I take a class, the acting class or whatever.
I just think comedy is one thing you can't
Yeah,
learn. Like
man.
You
can't,
gotta
somebody
do
can't
it,
teach
right?
You have a
you.
little
Yeah,
something
you have
about
to.
it. Whether it's timing, sense of humor, whatever, you got to have a little something.
You got,
coming
yeah,
in.
you gotta already have some kind of seed in you, and then
To do that.
right.
Whereas, yeah, I would imagine like everybody goes, oh, everybody told me I was funny when I, growing up as a kid.
Yeah,
And then
it
it's
gets
like,
hard
well,
up
yeah.
there. Once the light's on you and it's you and you're just talking, it's a one-sided conversation.
And
It
the
gets
idea
hard.
of right, and telling that story Like you're set. You guys write the jokes, which by the way, Willie likes to write in where he does. I mean, that was a funny story in itself. And where do you write?
I write on my phone. On my phone all the time. On my iPhone.
Damn kids.
Just notes.
Working them thumbs.
Notes, yeah.
Just in the memos, like the note section?
Yeah.
Because I like Evernote because I needed to back up. Because if something happens to my phone, I
send it to my email.
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
I sometimes randomly text it to other people to see what they think, and I'm always trying to keep up. Or I write it out sometimes. But everybody has their own style.
Write it out and then take a picture because it's like, I don't want to lose either one of the things.
Right, yeah, you have to protect
so it
those
sounds
diamonds.
like, the techie guy understands what could happen, where a novice like I is looking at it going, what happened? He knows.
Right.
So that's why you back up and do all that stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, we've all lost a phone or two.
Oh, yeah. Who hasn't? The old toilet drop, you get your phone in your back pocket. It's like, no! Yeah, all right. That, and to have to tell them that, it's like, make sure. Because we work in the industry where, you understand warranties, how they're set up, just so you know. You are covered for, what was it, like if you splash or doing something like that.
Yeah,
so you're not supposed to say you dropped it in the toilet because it voids the warranty, just so you know that, right? So I'm like.
Well, now they're making the phones waterproof. So.
Yeah, well.
Or water resistant.
That too. And they also took away the. There's a $200 deductible or $250. They get you.
Man, it's a business.
It's a business.
And then it's a refurbished phone. You're like, man, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we'll take your firstborn, a lung, a nostril. How much is that new iPhone? And they don't let you pay for it like you have to take out installment. I mean, I hate it's become like, they figured that shit out.
Running $1,000 per phone. It's like, come on now.
Yeah, it is. It's like, do you remember free cable?
Now, do you use that? Do you also do you record yourself, audio? Or
I do when I'm on stage. I always do the audio on stage. I always go back to listen to it the same night, the next week. Because there's always something. There's always, like you said, timing. There's always, the jokes have fat. And what Willie once taught me was to go back with a, X-Acto knife and trim it out, and get all that meat out. So the same joke, I might have done it one night, one way,
and the audio's
then the
good
next
enough?
night.
See, I need to see it.
The audio on your iPhone is pretty good, like really good. You just put it on airplane
No, I mean,
mode.
I prefer the visual over just hearing it.
To see how you move on stage?
Right.
Well, you pretty much stand. I mean,
I've started to move. That was, how long ago was that video? A year? It's been progressing
you started
so
to wander
fast.
a little bit?
Yeah, and then I think, for that clip, it was for Comedy Time TV, and they make you stand. Have you done this before? They give you,
I did rooftop. Yeah.
They give you a
marker.
marker. Yeah, a marker.
So you stand on your marker.
So you have to. Yeah, they don't want you to move at all for those kind of clips. But when I'm on stage, I like to have fun, getting with the crowd.
And Joe,
depending on what bit I'm on. So
you're just having a continuous party, and you get paid for it, and you're actually
hopefully when I'm lucky enough.
Right,
to
I've
get
heard
paid
those stories too.
Yeah.
I mean, people all think it's like, oh, you've made the big time because no, it's a never-ending chasing that, and you gotta
always
have
chasing
plan
the
B.
office.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, right.
You're always chasing your office because that's where we work. You don't like people that I admire people that have 9 to 5s. Good for you. Careers that work in the office. Good for you. But it's scary for people in entertainment. You're always chasing your office, and sometimes you can't find it.
I've had some of this season. The one of the guests that we had on, he was like, "You can't do this business and have a 9 to 5. Good luck with that because it demands everything from you." And
if you're your own manager, marketing person, booking agent, if you don't have that representation, it's up to you. How else are they going to hear about you? So have you gotten to that point where you've got management? And
I've gotten offers already, but I have some mentors still out there that help me make the right decision. So right now,
that's another big part of it too, picking the right people to
representation.
back you and surround yourself with.
Yeah, right now it's just me, my legwork. My wife helps out a lot, friends. You guys being here, other comics, and I've had opportunities where people come up to hey man, I would like to sit with you and represent you. But
merchandise, have you been working on that?
I sell shirts and a couple other things. I got wiser. I started to when you go do free shows, you still can sell your merch and make $60-$80.
Right, for
something to put in your gas.
That's become really big, and there was someone talking about that, saying that if you're not utilizing that, you're not using your full potential. You're lazy.
Yeah.
And basically they were talking about a lot of comedians who don't understand that the business, and the keyword is business, that you're in, is you have to have that mindset. and a lot of them, marketing and what have you, and having someone that's willing to also help you with selling your stuff out front after a show, doing pictures.
Right.
And John Witherspoon is really good about that. But he's always got that merch.
Really?
And he'll let people come up on stage to get that picture, where it's like you're kind of paying to go take that picture with him instead of just giving it away, like taking pictures with people. Like,
well, I was going to say that,
hey.
but why comedians don't, you get to a certain point where you're like, you want a picture with me?
Even Ricky Smiley back in the day, like before the PayPal, he had like the, the wireless credit card reader.
Really?
Yeah.
Smart.
Serious business.
Yeah, Gabriel Betches does that.
Yeah, especially if you're not getting what you deserve to get paid yet, just because they're thinking you're not as big of a name as you should be.
Right.
You gotta hustle like that. You gotta like, how else are you gonna get paid? Like, how else are you gonna, T-Mobile still needs to get paid. Rent still needs to get paid.
Right.
The clothes you're wearing on stage, the food,
especially there's some
everything.
like I watch how many people. I went and saw a comedian, and after he got Alonzo Bowden, and people waiting to get a picture with him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first thing I was going, $5 a shot. Just if you did $5. I'm like, okay, there's like over $150 standing right there. And I mean, to me, it's just, that's $150.
Right.
That people wanting to have their picture. And they only go all the way around. And of course, you're selling your CDs and what have you. They're more apt to pay a $5 picture shot, okay, to get their picture with you, because now they've become important. Now somehow they've done something incredible. When you have your picture with a celebrity, I'll admit we're all in on that, right?
Right.
And it's just that, 30-second shot. But, your friends think, oh, man, I saw you get your picture taken with so-and-so, right?
It's like, oh, such and such? No, I don't.
Like, next thing you know, the guy's got, the tattoo of you and him and his
picture.
face on his arm. No, I'm just saying. You never know.
Happens.
I've seen that crazy shit, too.
But what's the next step for you? Because I know a lot of comics, it's like they'll look to try to get the movie roles or some TV roles.
Man, I just enjoying the ride wherever it goes, man.
But some guys are like straight up like, no, I'm stand-up. This is like...
I'm wherever.
Louis C.K. was like that for
wherever
a long time.
it goes. I'm been, like I said, I'm mentoring under a couple of good actors out there. Slowly getting into acting. I got one of my good homies that has a really big acting gig coming up. I won't tell you guys much about it, but just hanging out with the best people I can be in the industry.
That's the other golden rule. If you want to be the best, hang out and learn from the best.
Yeah,
it's really funny because there are some people who have this envious thing. Okay, where they want to criticize and they're like, oh, I don't think he's that great. Instead of just shut up.
You're never that great.
Right.
You're never going to be great.
You're never going to be that great that
everybody.
you can't learn, right? From somebody.
Yeah.
And that's something, too. I mean, were you funny as a kid?
And I just try to be myself. I never really judge myself. I think so, yeah. The kids in the playground, you do your mama jokes and you roast everybody, right? The classics, man. That's how it always started. And someone ends up crying, and here comes their mom and your mom.
That mama joke. Yeah, that being that said, what's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you out in the road where you were just like, whoa?
Weirdest thing? Why you put me on the spot? Weirdest.
You must have moments where you were like, I can't freaking believe that happened.
Yeah, fights at the clubs, comedy clubs.
No,
that was
could be people out there. Why would you go to a comedy club to get ugly?
But I'm talking about in the club. I'm talking about in the club, like in the audience, like the whole room.
That's what
boiling.
I'm saying. Why would they go?
I don't know. They just do. That's the kind of rowdy people.
I think I'll go to something that makes people
you
laugh.
Start mixing alcohol with whatever else, emotions and feelings.
And
it wasn't like a heckler or something.
Yeah, right. You get to laugh, and the next thing you know, you want to punch the guy in the fucking face in front of you. What? No, come on. I mean, why would that must be bizarre?
That was just incredible to see. I mean, I'll tell you the story. I was in Sacramento on the road with Willie Barcena, and another comedian was with us, our opener, Patrick Riley. And Willie was on stage. I'm getting the merch ready for Willie to get off stage, and we're about to sell merch. He does a religious joke. He does no boundaries.
Hilarious.
And it's Sacramento. His crowds that he brings out, a bunch of Chicanos, right? And Latinos, the ones that love Jesus and the Virgin Mary, right? They're very religious, but they're still,
out doing
they're still doing things that are not approved by the
Jesus
religion,
forgives,
right? Right. That's what they understand. Right?
Jesus, you know what I'm saying?
And they didn't like a joke, and someone, I guess the security guard was trying to get him out, get these hecklers out, and the audience member grabbed the security guard, and a punch was thrown. 2 guys got knocked out, and then the whole crowd just started boiling, like 50, 40 guys just chairs scratching. Like, yeah, crazy. Willie's still on stage trying to finish his joke.
Oh, you shit.
And then at one point he stops, right? And I just everything got really weird. People falling left and right. Cops came up. The crowd calmed down. He did another 20 minutes.
The show must go on.
Willie was like, man, it's just another night hanging out at the bar.
Just another night. And that wasn't the first time, man. But that was the most memorable one.
Well, and that was a lesson, too, because you're watching a professional. I mean, if you didn't have probably all those years behind you, Willie, I mean, really, he's seen so much.
Yes. I think in 11 months, the 11 months I spent with him was probably, you know, a good amount of his whole 25+ year career.
Wow.
Just crunched up into 11 months. So I'm
surprised he didn't kill you because you gotta hang when you
I had to get away, man.
He parties, man.
Yeah,
he's
got like 6 livers. That guy.
Yeah, that's right, and 9 lives. That's for sure.
But very funny comedian. You guys, anybody listening, follow Willie Barcena.
Man, big shout out to that. And Willie Barcena. I mean, I just love. He did a little clip that went about asking your wife if you can go out. And he does that.
Oh,
like
yeah,
he's
yeah,
all
yeah.
big and tough to his friends, and it just was hysterical. He got how many hits?
Is that like
on
15 million on Facebook or something
with 15 million hits,
Yeah.
which go to show you. Okay, there's a big controversy I want to touch on because I've been reading a lot of it. There's a group of comedians who don't appreciate the the art of Instagram, breeding these new comedians that only are doing like these comedy clips, and actually. I'm going to say his name again. Sheng actually wrote about it today, and he was asking his audience, what do you make of that? I mean, is this what we've come to? It's to us comedians that are out here working, we don't, that instant success of like you got 150,000 views on Instagram does not necessarily mean you can go to a club and do stand-up.
Yeah, and I've seen it.
And they're saying totally that it's kind of taken away from...
I think it's your people's different opinions. I think... they got the numbers to pack the clubs out. Why not give them work? But at the end of, like he said, they still have to go on stage and make it happen. And I've seen some of the top guys that are Instagram YouTubers on stage can't do 3-4 minutes. So it's fine. It's fine. They can sell out the clubs.
Well, that's what he was saying.
Eventually, they trickle out,
You're right. Because it's like, honestly, too, if you're going through Instagram... the 30-second attention span. I mean, let's face it. Titties, ass, that'll stop you. They're gonna stop and look at that, right?
You gotta.
Somebody's, like arm hanging off. They're gonna stop and look at that. Every shock, pretty girls. I mean, there's certain things, puppies, and so now
I'm amazed at how much you can see now. It's like a lot of titties, a lot of like whole nipple. I'm like, goodness, is it like?
Yeah, it leaves nothing to the.
Nothing.
It's like, yeah.
That stuff used to get when I first got online, man. That stuff they would take off your video. Are you big with your social media?
I'm trying.
Are you doing sketches or just straight up, just like?
I was doing them. I'm getting invited to do them again, just a little bit. I've just been on the road so much and staying busy with stand-ups.
I'll tell you, I don't want you to feel left out because everyone who talks about this stuff, write in the smart ass from Bostonian. I'm looking to do one of these. I cannot believe nobody has taken this Boston accent and put it in.
She won't just write a sketch for herself.
That's it. I should. Yeah,
that's all you gotta do. Don't wait on people.
Sketch.
Yeah. There's a comedian named Morancio. I'm probably sure you guys know who that is. Morancio. He said if you have to create your own doors, man. So write the sketch. If nobody's inviting you,
exactly.
Right. Build your own door and walk through it. Do the sketches. Do
well,
whatever
it's kind of funny because it's been like. You really shouldn't swear so much. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm from Boston. That's, it's common language.
Right.
And it's like, well, you got to brand yourself. That's the other thing. I mean, you do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're working on that as well.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot to that too, right?
There's a lot to
For you people who don't know that, there's a lot to this. When people say, what is, thinking about how you want to brand yourself, are you working on that? Is that something that...
I just keep going, like you said, and just working on it, and eventually it'll come. I think I'm not too focused on. Like I heard one of my good friends say, he wasn't worried about his social media numbers, because eventually it'll come. Everything will fall into place if you just continue to work at it. So,
well, that is
staying
true.
Focused.
I mean, the years that when you talk to the comedians, they're in the double digits, and you like see this incredible talent, and they hustle. You guys, I have to say, because you do show to show to show,
Yeah,
so it can be a real grind, and you're exhausted. Because, and that's the other thing, too. Like, this man has lost a lot of weight. Okay. I just want you to know if you look at the clip, my earlier clips with him and Willie, you'll see that everybody asks him. And it's funny because people think there's a magic. How'd you do it? And you're like, diet,
Poverty?
discipline, poverty.
Yeah, it's just working out, and making better decisions.
Well, because I would think on the road that it's a grind, man, on you physically, too, right?
It is. But you have to just, you can't burn the candle from both sides. We know that. You're on the road, you're already in the clubs. Go home. Go to your room, go get some rest, wake up, do the gym thing, right? You got to still maintain the professionalism, realize it's a career. You're not just out there partying. So.
Did you get to a point in your writing, though, where, okay, you've been doing this a while, so you've pretty much talked about growing up and those experiences. So now you have to also pull from, where else do you pull from? Everyday experience or?
Yeah, the same fundamentals, relationships, your family, your job.
Those are always
Now,
fun.
do you feel that conflict where your wife's like, don't talk about me on stage, or is it anything?
She knows that there's nothing I won't talk about on stage.
Yeah.
I'm just too honest on stage. Like, if she were to ask me anything from the crowd on stage, I'd probably tell her. Something, and I probably wouldn't tell her by herself, On stage, it's just I'm an open book.
What?
I'm like that too. And the other dangerous places, like if you're talking in your sleep, I had a girl used to try to get information out of me. Like, talking to me.
I one of those mumblers. What did you say? What did you say?
Yeah, nah. Yeah. That's crazy.
That's hilarious. No, baby, it's my subconscious. I didn't know any of that. It's just wandering ideas. Yeah. Now, with what you're doing as far as traveling, and you usually fly everywhere, or you?
No, lucky when I'm flying, but driving, a lot of driving. Just on the road.
There's a lot of driving.
Yeah, because you're trying to reach another status, and right now, the pockets ain't deep, and the money's not there. But you want to get on stage. I'll drive anywhere to do free shows. It's fine.
Have you already got like a club
we gotta see. It's starting to get to a level where I'm starting to set some. Bars that I have to meet. Something has to give.
Now, as a comedian, as far as like what your background is, okay, and where you're from, and the idea of being Mexican, right? You said.
Yeah, I'm Mexican.
So do you touch a lot of obviously what you know, and are there things that you won't talk about on stage, or you said everything's open?
Everything's open, but certain things I'm not ready to talk about. I feel like I would just be talking about it because it's
like
expected to be right. Like the being Mexican. I talk about it on stage, not too much. Just because I'm not ready to address it. I want to address it in a more intellectual way, not just go up there and talk about my culture, the way it's just viewed upon. I want to get deeper than just talk about my food and that we work a lot, or some stupid that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
Cliche,
yeah.
Stereotypical comedy.
You also, is there anyone that you have, like a lot of people say, well, typical questions, who do you idolize? But as a kid and watching styles.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's a certain style that you might find that you gravitate towards rhythm and who was that?
I grew up watching Comic View and Def Jam. So like a lot of the old school cats like Bernie, Earthquake, Ricky Smiley, Samore, who else? All those cats, man. Anybody.
So when you're on stage, obviously, nobody does you. So that's the first rule: is to thine own self be true. So you do you. But are there those voices in your head where you remember something about their timing, or something about something that you liked about what they did that you go?
Yeah, the Bernie Macs, just fearless on stage. Even if they're not laughing, enjoy the moment. Let them think about it.
Scared of you,
be yourself, right? That clip right there, man. You should play that one. That's just his fearless and being able to talk about whatever he wants to talk about, because that's your time when you're on stage.
And that's nice that you made the move to LA too, because it's like, because Bernie tried to do it early in his career and it like didn't work, so he went back home and was like, I'll just be the biggest thing in Chicago, and when I go back out to LA, they'll send for me. And
that's
so
a great
it kind of reminds me of what you're saying about like the following will build itself. Like, I'm not going to worry about it. Same thing with him. He was like,
I mean, I worry. I worry,
but
but
it's
yeah,
kind of
you're
like
right.
doing you so well to where they're gonna find out about me, or they're gonna ask for me. Like just,
You're undeniable.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I could be wrong. I mean, but we
No,
hope
because
we
if
hope
you
we
put in
don't.
the work, like they're gonna recognize like the funny is the funny, especially like when you're on a show with like 6 other people, but you're the person they remember. You know, like
Yeah.
that kind of having that kind of a connection with the audience.
And that's
Which
the
must be
best
the
payoff.
best-
Man. That's
yeah,
the
right.
best
I was
payoff.
gonna say
the
that.
money doesn't matter. The place, the venue doesn't matter. Just hearing people after the show
What
telling
was
you
the
that
best compliment you ever got?
you should have been the headliner.
Whoa.
That was the best. Like that. When I first heard that, it's just like
That's big
I
deal.
know I wasn't ready at the time, but it's just like for somebody to hold you to that. Like, wow,
Validation.
yeah. So that was the best one, I think.
Did that allow you to see like maybe when a headliner is like slacking off a little bit or whatever, or like some people lose that desire to like I'm gonna be great tonight, or
Right.
something.
Yeah, you can see that a lot of times. You can see it on their faces.
like it
and
just gets routine. Or
I think so, but we're
Yeah.
talking about these guys that have been doing comedy 15, 20
Yeah,
plus years.
28 years,
And
23 years.
They've been doing it night to night, and some of them can get bitter because the success has not come yet or might be fading.
In the magnitude that they expected.
Right.
Right. Because no one.
And then you got the Instagram guys and the YouTube guys, right?
Right.
So I understand Shang as well, man. Shout out to Shang. Shang's a funny dude. He'll be at the show Thursday night at the Ice House with me.
Oh, that's
So I
right. I,
believe
saw
he's
that posted.
headlining.
I got to take a ride up there.
Mhm.
And you know that's what's frustrating. Like tonight, there's a lot of great shows. Like Tyree Spivey is in a show. Now he's one of those. He actually got a
Tyree,
TV. Tyree,
yeah.
I love Tyree. Shout out. He actually does the Instagram, but he works that comedy
the
on
stand-up
stage.
part.
Yeah, he does the stand up because he stays true to that.
Right.
And it works and he's also very animated. If you notice that type, like he's the fall down and very, slapstick comedy. He does work a lot of that physicalness
Right.
into what he does. And it's really cool because it kind of sets him apart from all the other videos that you watch, that physicalness that he
Right.
does. So shout out to him. But
Yeah, funny dude.
Yeah.
So what
and
kind of things do you do to keep it fresh for you?
I just keep writing, man. And, Willie's, again, back to Willie, his rule of thumb was, comedy's your full time. So if you're not writing 8 hours a day, then-
Really?
yeah, that was his standard. I try to write all day continuously. Like,
Man, 8 hours
you
a day.
Yeah, he's real good at in
He
teaching
does,
how to write what's funny.
right?
It's not the formula like it isn't. People go, oh, so you see this and go, I saw a guy walk in the store and he fell. That's not what it's about. It's actually taking things in your life, looking at it and finding the funny within that, even though as tragic as it may be or as memorable as it may seem in a different light, to bring it into comedy. It's just you just have to change it a little bit, right?
Right.
And at the core of it, it's always the truth.
But yeah. And also the other kind of comedy is funny too. Just dumb, funny, jokey joke comedies. That's
And playing off
it's
the
good
audience.
too as well. Yeah. So this funny comes in all different kind of ways, and it doesn't always have to be deep and truthful. It's good. It's something. It's always good to hear something intellectual and real and true that's funny. But some shit is just funny.
Now, does
Sex
writing
jokes.
as much as you do, does that encourage you to maybe feel like you got a book in you too, or like what? Like you said, even some of this stuff you haven't felt like talking about yet on stage, but like it's in you, like you want to talk about it a little.
Yeah, I have books that I'm filling out that I keep on the side, to eventually down that road.
I would imagine you got quite a story.
I'm writing a recipe book for
Get
one
out.
day. Yeah, I was a chef
Now you're
before
talking-
comedy.
Oh, that's right. I
I was
remember
gonna
that
say, oh,
chef.
not just a shirt. Okay.
No, I was a chef
About
in
that
Hawaii.
life.
Oh, so that didn't say chief. It said chef.
yeah.
Wow.
So-
So there's that. I mean, that all plays into it. Now.
Plays into what? Because he's Mexican? What you trying to say?
No.
Oh, okay,
we're
just
we're
kidding.
gonna. My favorite. I still want this catchphrase. I should actually probably domain name it. And it's the hot shit chef.
Yeah, kind of.
You know.
Yeah, shit and chef doesn't
Yeah,
always
it is.
come
Come on
words
now, he's
together.
a
but,
hot shit,
we,
though.
Right?
Come on, a hot
sentiment, we
shit
got
chef.
you.
How many times your friends describe you as that? You got to meet this guy. Man, he's a hot shit.
No, they used to make fun of me though, like because you're working in kitchens. And even in Hawaii, there's a bunch of Mexicans in the kitchen.
Yeah, how did y'all take over that industry? Like everywhere.
It's just, it's a trade. It's not just here. I mean, even in Hawaii, there's Filipinos that work in the kitchen. Filipinos are the Mexicans of Hawaii.
Okay.
You didn't know that. That's like they're
Did-
all in the kitchens. But it's just a
My
trade.
mother's restaurant.
But the cooking part, though,
Right.
that's like a real
No.
talent.
We had. This is Boston. We had Brazil, Guatemala, a lot of Guatemalans, and my mother could not get over how much they wanted to work. All right, and our chef was from Haiti, Batista, and very proud man. But I mean, you open the doors to this kitchen, and it was just like just a blend of everybody. But my mom really was good to her help, so everybody had somebody they wanted to get in, and my mother helped a lot of people get their American citizenship. And all of that, yeah. I mean,
But I'm amazed at how many different styles of food, like,
you can cook.
everyone's learning. Yeah, you
go
go to an
Chinese
Italian restaurant,
No,
you're
you go to a
like,
Chinese restaurant, and you're like, it's a bunch of Mexicans cooking there.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Right?
just a trade to learn. You can go once you learn how to cook. The basics are everywhere. You can have a job anywhere in the world if you learn how to cook.
Yeah, you can.
And it takes some
very
common
true.
sense. It takes some. I hate going to somebody's house and they invite me over to a party to eat, and the food is terrible. Oh,
Yes.
it's like the worst.
Isn't that?
Especially if I see somebody over 40 in their house. Like if you're above 40, you should know, how, to cook a plate, right?
Yes.
What is
Well,
this person doing here?
Well, because bad food is just out there. I remember my daughter saying
terrible.
to me, "Mom, you never open. My friends all cook out of boxes. What do you mean they cook out of boxes and bags?" And my daughter said, "You're the only mom that actually cuts things up and puts them together." And, my kids would open the refrigerator and their friends had everything. Just take it out, you throw it in the microwave. And they figured, why am I working so hard at something that should be a lot easier? And then we went into reading labels, teaching my kids how to read labels and stuff like that. And it really is true as far as like the best thing you can do for yourself is cook.
Yeah. And
And
save
cook.
money and eat fresh, and I don't know, you just know what you're eating. Sometimes you go get food poisoning at these restaurants, and
And
I don't know, just enjoy a home meal.
Right.
I like some hot food.
And you do know the rule: if the bathroom's not clean, don't eat at the restaurant. My mother used to always say that. If the bathroom's not clean in a restaurant, then their kitchen isn't either. Yeah.
You can just tell. Just look at the uniforms. Look at the servers, how they carry themselves.
Well, I feel like if your uniform's dirty, you're probably a good cook. Like, if
No, we're talking about servers. We're talking about front of the
Servers.
house.
Okay,
If the front of the house looks busted,
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Dude,
Your
there's
stomach
something
will
to be
get
said.
busted.
There's something to be said about
Stomach
that.
will get
Yeah.
busted.
don't do that.
Yeah, and I mean
Watch
on
the
the road.
fingernails. Watch the server's fingernails.
Right.
and the
Well,
hair.
I remember we were at when I was living in Florida, right? And I was at a Fridays, and you could see into the kitchen, and the kid who was cooking was scratching his head, wiping his nose, sneezed, and no gloves. And the person's like, "Yeah, so what are you gonna order?" And I'm like, "Nothing. I will not eat here." And they're like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, and I'm watching the line, and it was just gross. It was just like every physical thing that could rub, scratch, grab, and touch. And then he went for the food. I'm like, I'm good. I'm just good. Yeah, I got a thing about that.
Eat at home.
Well, we're right. People not wearing
are you
gloves.
like a farmer's market kind of guy, or are you like try to just get the best stuff in the grocery
Whatever's
store?
there, man.
Yeah.
Whatever's there. Whatever's on sale. Whatever's on season. Anything.
Because
Now,
they're doing so much to this produce, I can't. Like,
It's getting difficult, to choose.
yeah. Even when you are trying to get healthy, it's all genetically modified some kind of way or whatever. Like even the apples now, they're supposed to like not brown.
what?
They're not supposed to turn brown for like a week or more.
See?
It's like, but even pests are avoiding them. So it's just like, if they know better, like we
Right.
as people should know better. But
Let's
anyway.
let's try this out on our us, the guinea pigs.
Yeah, because they act like, oh, there's not enough information to say it's not good for you.
Well,
There
I
isn't
have-
enough information
Wait,
to know it
I have
is.
the thing where, like, I see the pharmaceutical people in a meeting with the growers.
Yeah.
And they go, "Man, what shit can you come up with now?" Yeah, oh, okay, good. They don't bruise, but what will that do to them in 10 years? Okay, we're going to invent that pill to take care of that disease that we can got everybody hanging out together because the food industry is basically poisoning people. And,
It really is.
well,
Everybody's working together.
it seems that way because
Food industry,
and,
the drug industry.
and
Government.
there is this when you look at the situation with health, it's like, I mean, when you're out in the clubs, when you're in
Everything's
certain
fried.
areas, right,
Everything's fried.
right, and it's so when they say you got to order 2 drink minimum,
Right.
and or you can order food. Some places it's only 2 drinks,
Mhm.
but then when you look at the food menu, it's
Which
like,
we discovered the other day. Didn't
yeah, we did. Oh, the food don't count. You mean you loaded nachos? But it is kind of funny because on the road, I would think that everybody would be heart attack material because when you get out from the show, you're hungry.
Breakfast spots.
Breakfast spots are the worst. Who doesn't like comfort food? I mean, you're tired, you're hungry.
Well, that's where comics like to hang out generally. Like after the show, we just hang out and shoot the shit for like another 2-3 hours or something.
Where? In the breakfast
Comics.
places?
No, yeah, comics. Just in general. It's like when you're on the road with other comics, you don't have to be up in the morning unless you're doing radio or something. Right. So it's just like they just hang out. Either at the club or go hit a breakfast spot.
See, now in a perfect world, you know how the actors get their fancy ass, what is that called, crafty?
Craft services.
Yeah.
Another one.
Another caller. Hi, folks. Comedy Hour. Thanks for calling in. Who you be?
Hey. This is Mimi. I'm at home in the bed, not feeling well, but I wanted to just say, what's up, Jose?
Hey, what's going on?
How you
that's
doing?
my supportive wife
calling.
right there. You got to have you a good one. You're going to be out here trying to make it happen.
Yeah, she usually does the show running. She still is able to
This
do
your
some
wife?
stuff.
Are we talking
Yeah.
to? All right.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you for
I
calling.
was
Nice to
trying
meet
to
you.
do everything from home. But I had a question. My question is, do you do like programs and stuff like back in your city? Like, do you do anything like comedy,
Volunteer
stuff for,
work or anything like that?
Well, I've had opportunities to go do some shows in Watts, but through comp, I've been overbooked so many times. I'm trying to get back out there. I just visit people as much as I can. I'm just busy with my career right now. But when I get into the position, hopefully, right, that I can give back to the community, of course, I would definitely be there. Right now, I'm trying to stay afloat myself, and
Well,
make
I
it
think
happen.
it's an excellent way for you to brand yourself a little better because that lets you get in the door. And then once people get to see you in front of these big crowds, you can work it more than one way, but it helps people get to know who you are. And then especially with these kids, they're the ones who are online, so they'll follow you in that moment. Like, he was funny, da-da-da-da.
No, wait. Do you do any college?
Not yet. I'm starting to just branch out a little bit more.
Because in learning about that, there's so many other venues, than the clubs, right?
Right. Corporate gigs, colleges. I'm sure my man here knows much more.
Yeah, like especially like when they're like these history months or whatever like that. That's perfect, especially when you're going back to these neighborhoods to show these kids, listen, I was here. I know what it's like, the neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. But you can have more. You can do more. And, that's just an easy way to like.
And now with, let's see, the end of the month, we got Halloween.
Right.
Okay. Let me ask you, you doing any Halloween shows? Do you get dressed up? Do you play it up?
No, not at all.
No Day of the Dead, no Cinco de
No,
Mayo,
no,
nothing.
Nothing. Come on.
Nothing, just comedy. I'll be in San Diego the 28th, and I come back.
Wow.
So.
And I
have
like
one more. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry, Annamarie.
I like the idea of themes. I just think people get a kick out of it, like when the clubs do that, especially Halloween. Which I'm wondering because it is a scary world we live in anyways. Right?
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. Is that, just to touch on that with what happened in Vegas, because you were in Vegas the day after the shooting.
Right, the morning.
The morning after. Right. Okay. Did you feel like, and you said a brawl broke out, here you are. Is that something now that, even though it's your comedy, that in the back of your mind you're like, there's a lot of crazy asses out there, and with everybody hypersensitive about what you're saying, where you said a brawl broke out, does it ever cross your mind somebody might,
Go crazy?
Yeah. Is it because it's like the new fear that we live in?
But did it change your set being there the day after, or did you just kind of like, I'm gonna help people people's minds off of it?
I just myself, I feel personally I've been desensitized, right? I've been through so much, and I'm sure people deal with it differently. Not at all. It doesn't cross my mind. I just go as a show. It's another show. Yeah. So when I got to Vegas, it was. It's Vegas. People are like, if it didn't happen to me, I'm still gonna party.
Right.
Right.
Well,
that was my. That's how I saw the city, and the only difference was just a bunch of Vegas strong hashtags and prayers on the marquees in the casinos, but the shows were great, sold out shows. People are laughing.
I would think. Well, that's what somebody
the
said.
show must go on.
What is on the rise, because the world is so scary. He's like, do you know what people are buying into? The big sellers are porn, alcohol, obviously weed if it's legal, but comedy.
We yes.
But comedy is up there as to like more people wanting to go out to forget about life for a while. Because let's face it, you're not always going to find the great movies. Movies are always a crapshoot as to what they're putting out in the theaters. But the idea that comedy shows people are seeking that for relief, for escape, like it was back in the day when comedians really had, historically something to say about what was going on in society today. And now you guys are faced with, which we're all talking about, is the overly sensitive crowd of what you say, where it's like, seriously? And there's a few comedians that I went to a comedy show and the comedian touched on that, like what you can say to the Italians, that, what the differences were, things that you could say, but it wouldn't be acceptable if you made an ethnic joke about this and you can't say that. And it's like, man, that's going to be stressful for comedians.
To me, it doesn't cross my mind.
Just stay in your lane. Yeah, you just do you.
Do yourself, man. Yeah, a comedian is. We shouldn't be censored.
Do you touch on the politics or anything?
I do, briefly. A little bit. I feel not ready to talk about it yet, but I do, man. I never censor myself due to anything.
He hands so much material.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't want to sound like all these everybody else. Now everybody's Mexican. Now everybody's undocumented. Now, shut up, dude. You're third generation Latino. Be quiet, dude. You don't even need hot sauce. Relax. Yeah. You're just talking about politics now because you found some hacky jokes. Relax. It's all right. We'll get to it. It's just be yourself. I think as a comedian, just talking about what you want to talk about, it's fine. If people don't laugh, people don't like it, stay your ass at home.
So you could be working.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm here. I just have a quick question. When you do you have any advice for people that are traveling all the time, going to different cities?
What are your top tips when you're on the road?
Yeah,
young
comics on the road. For someone that's starting out, what is the not to do, and what is something that you would suggest for them to do, to prepare themselves, when they're going to different cities to do these tours?
Yeah, one thing not to do.
I've noticed that you've been going to a lot of places.
Yes.
Which I think is amazing.
Thank you. I learned really quick. And one thing not to do is don't go out with people, man. Just go to work, go to the club, do your time, go back to your room.
You mean hanging out with the audience members? Or
right, with the audience members, keep a line.
Yeah.
Between your fans, them being fans, and then being too close to them. You can get lost in that. There's so many bad people around. They're strangers that came to the show. Thank you very much. Here's my business card.
Right.
I appreciate you from afar. Just keep to yourself out in these cities, because you never know what intentions people have. Something what to do is get business cards, man. I always leave a business card when I go to breakfast, even if it's not a great tip.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, that's my next thing.
Everybody, business cards. Just network.
That is real important. LA, everybody asks me for a card, and I keep making excuses, and it's going to have to be something that I get. Also, the idea, too, what you said about it being a job. I mean, you can get really lost in the partying. It'll eat you up and spit you out real fast, won't it?
Yeah.
Right?
And it takes one night. You'll notice. Yeah. You'll notice so.
Yeah, I do notice that.
I'm going to watch the show. All right.
Thanks, Mimi. Feel better. Yeah, man. I mean, watching from the audience, okay, since I had the show, I do look at the different perspective of some of the comedians after they get through performing, and there's some heavy hitters. I mean, you're at the bar. I mean, usually the clubs or what have you, so that's real easy to just slide into. And the next thing you know, it's like people are like, dude.
So you're driving to somebody's house.
Right.
2 hours away from the club.
Yeah, that's
going to sleep at 10 in the morning. Falling off a tow truck.
And there's nothing worse, I bet, than having to get up on stage performing when you're hungover, you're tired. It's like you know.
It happens more than people think.
Right.
Me myself, I just took a backseat.
I don't know how you'd be on your game 100%.
Yeah. Do you have a pre-show ritual? How do you get ready?
I just tune out to rap music, and keep away from phone calls and text messages. Not too much, but I like to be by myself a little bit.
Now, this is the part that I find really interesting as to how comedians and show people get in their zone.
Mm-hmm.
And when you stand back and now you're looking at it through different eyes, and you're looking in the green room where you're watching everybody off, doing their thing as they're getting ready to present. And there are some people that, like you said, that are on. Some people are just that energy, they're lit all the time.
Right.
And it's hard, I would imagine, because what I'm finding is that's not the norm. Most comedians are, and they save that for when they get up on stage, because it's a very demanding energy giver, isn't it, when you're up there?
Yeah, it can be very taxing. I feel it all the time when I get off stage. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, because I don't even like being introduced as a comic, because then everybody's got that expectation. It's like, look, you got to catch me when I'm performing. I'm not like,
right.
Yeah. I'm not just gonna
yeah,
cut it on.
That's
for
a
you.
good one. That's really a good one when somebody introduces you. Oh, this is my comedian friend.
Right.
Or a comedian. And,
oh, make me laugh. Give me a joke.
Yeah, fuck you.
$20. There's a 2-drink minimum.
That's always a tough one.
I would think that because you find that, and your personality, obviously, you're very, you're a low key.
I try to be
kind of guy. You just kind of go with the flow. I mean, I get that from you. Rocky's the same way. I mean, Rocky's very.
Till I hit the stage or I get a little drink in me.
But that's something that for someone like me who comes at full tilt. No off
button with this one over there.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know, like everybody goes, just, Willie said that to me, just do you. Just be you.
Right.
And so what you find out in LA is a lot of people think that, I can script this for you, but you need to do this. Maybe you should do this. You shouldn't really say that. And then someone actually told me you should really curb your Boston accent. And fuck you, curb my Boston accent. Seriously? That would take away my identity. Because that's me, and okay, so why is that? And they actually said, well, because if you wanted to do commercial work, if you want, you can't talk like that. And I'm like,
they don't know what they're talking about.
No, and I mean it's kind of funny perception as to who thinks they know more. I mean, do you find that? Have you ever gotten that guy who thinks they're the expert on everything?
Everybody's an expert in show business. We just gotta take back, just step back and listen and watch and pick out what's best for yourself. I had someone tell me, like they told me, stop talking about Watts so much. Stop talking about Watts. And I did for a moment. And then I met Willie, and he was like, yo, you need to talk about Watts more.
Yeah, because like you said,
It's
even
true.
with us, it was just like, you'll be our introduction to it.
Yeah.
Other than we know, it's got some rough parts. But
right, because these cities like Watts, Inglewood, Compton, it's now like almost saying like France, Tokyo. They're getting famous.
Yeah.
On their own right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Now, to let people know, because we're down to our minute, where you at, where you gonna be, how to get in touch with you, and let the audience know.
First, my next show will be Thursday at the Ice House, Stage 2.
I gotta check that out.
8:00 with Shane headlining. They can add me on Instagram at Jose Raymond Comedian or on Facebook, Jose Raymond Comedian. Other than that, thank you guys so much
Check
for
out
letting
that
me be
funny,
here.
yeah, man. I
Thank
had to
you.
have
It was
you
a
back.
pleasure, man. Thank you very
Pleasure,
much.
yeah,
And you making your stride. It's like don't forget the kid. Okay? Take me with you.
Hopefully next time I'll be back, we got some more good news and whatnot.
absolutely.
Sounds good. Thank you guys. See you next week. Make sure you tune in. You can catch us on SoundCloud, YouTube,
And
and
Facebook.
Instagram, man. And out. Our phone's still on. Shows. Now, my first hesitation is like being a woman and going to the show by myself, and it's kind of like you know.
It'll be fine. A lot of women do go by themselves.
They do. Oh, really? You see? Oh, because when you're torturing the audience, you see that woman. So what'd you do?
Yeah.
Do you have fun with that? So because New Year's Eve, I went to a show and I sat up front, and it was like,
Well, you just stand out.
yeah,
The
right.
hair, all that.
All that.
Usually the boots up to your ankle, your knees. I mean,
Right, yeah. People always say, you by yourself? It's like, oh, yeah.
And New Year's Eve by yourself. Yeah. you
Right,
gotta stand
that's
out.
pretty much loser status, isn't it?
not at all.
Come on now.
LA's one of those places where it's just like,
Independent.
yeah.
Independent. I like that. Are you single? No, I'm independent. Get away from me. I don't need nothing from you. Yeah, that and I I I really do like the Ice House. I mean that's
That's one of my
that's
favorite
one of
clubs.
the